Can you believe it? Homer managed to get a free 7-day trip to Paris for his whole family with a box he couldn't even open. 50,000 years ago, Homer was a person who didn't do any housework, and 50,000 years later, he was still the same. While cleaning the house, Homer stumbled upon an old, run-down vintage car in the garage. He claimed ownership of it according to ancient laws. Homer drove the vintage car around having fun.
Dude in a tiny car, making friends both near and far. In this little town, he's a shooting star.
A wealthy man saw it and wanted to buy Homer's vintage car. Homer immediately agreed to the wealthy man's offer. He got a large sum of money, and the wealthy man got the vintage car. With money in hand, Homer began to get arrogant. He boasted to Marge, who was always complaining about life, that he would take her anywhere she wanted to go on a trip. Marge was thrilled. She could already picture herself traveling in Paris. However, it didn't last long before the wealthy man came knocking again. It turned out the vintage car didn't actually belong to Homer. It was discovered during the vehicle registration process. Therefore, Homer needed to return the money. Homer watched as the money he had just gained slipped away. The sheriff also took the vintage car. At this point, Marge was already eagerly looking forward to the Paris trip. Homer, feeling anxious, could only go to a travel agency to ask if there was any free Paris tour available. To his surprise, the manager said it could be free. The condition was that Homer would have to work as a temporary courier. He had to escort a package to Paris. In exchange, he would get tickets and accommodation for the whole family. The condition was that he couldn't open the package. Homer immediately agreed to the deal. They secretly exchanged the package. The manager repeatedly emphasized that Homer couldn't open the package. But during the trip, Homer was worried about safety issues. He opened the box to see what was inside. Lisa also saw what was inside. After investigating, Lisa discovered that the box contained an endangered Amazon blue python. Homer was instantly in a dilemma. In the end, he reached an agreement with Lisa. They would protect the snake and still keep the trip intact. After the plane arrived in Paris, two contacts appeared on time. They introduced Homer to the fact that the snake would be made into a woman's belt. Homer pretended to cooperate but then ran away with Lisa. They went to the Louvre gardens to release the snake. Unexpectedly, the two contacts chased after them.
You make belts from snakes.
We treat our high-fashion animals in the most humane manner.
They brought the snake to the famous jazz street in Paris. Lisa took the place of a saxophonist and played a song. Homer and Marge strolled through the streets of Paris, enjoying the sights of the city. Finally, Homer confessed everything to Marge. He admitted that the free trip was earned by smuggling the snake. Just as Marge was shocked, the local police came knocking on the door. It turned out Bart had caused trouble at Fashion Week. He knocked over a skinny model.
Here, skinny, skinny. Here, skinny, skinny.
Meanwhile, the two contacts also accused Homer of stealing the goods. The police put Homer in handcuffs, but after a thorough search, the police couldn't find any trace of the python. They brought in a Chihuahua police dog for a search, but still, no trace of the snake was found. In the end, Homer was declared innocent. The police officer apologized to Homer and gave him a gift as an apology. And just like that, Homer's family completed their free trip to Paris. Homer even brought back souvenirs for his good friends.